Sunday morning at 10, and it's our second match from Australia's National Rugby League. South Sydney take on Newcastle Knights. Don't miss it. Sky Sports 2. Right now, suddenly Leeds can feel St Helens breathing down their necks. It's points difference only, but this is the Rhinos' game in hand. Are the champions wobbling? If they are, London Broncos could find them out. Wins on Friday night for Huddersfield, Salford and St Helens. There are 2 games to come on Sunday. Widnes are at Hull, Warrington at home to Bradford. Leeds and the Saints then are tied on points. The Rhinos are ahead only on point scoring difference. Wigan stay third despite the defeat at Huddersfield, who move up to 5th. Hull are 4th, London and Bradford are next. Salford have made a move to join Wakefield on 8 points. Leeds stay bottom. It's a big day on Sunday for Widnes and Warrington. Let's take a check on the 2 sides that line up here. Leeds have Mathers at fullback, Calderwood, Walker, Senior and Bye. Sinfield captains the side at standoff alongside Burrow. The forwards, Bailey, Duneman and Ward, Lauatiti, Poaching and Jones-Buchanan. And on the bench, it's Maguire, McDermott, Botham and Scruton, and the coach is Tony Smith. Now the Broncos, it's Luisi at fullback, Wells, Sykes, O'Halloran and Bradley Qualilala, Dawn and Luluai. Trindle, McLinden, Armour, Harmono, Hopkins and Lolohea. And the bench, it's occupied by Williams, Mabu, Tukey and Highton, and the coach, Tony Ray. Well, it's a cold grey night here at Headingley as Leeds return to Super League action after a big upset here on Easter Monday. But London, well, they earned the unwanted tag of becoming Leeds' first victims in Super League this year when they were beaten 22-24 to continue the Broncos' poor form away from home. OK, they did beat Hunslet just up the road from here, 70 points to 4 in the Cup last week. But in Super League, they've lost their last 5 away games, stretching back to last season. And the members of the South Stand will be expecting that Leeds will get back to winning ways in the Super League here tonight. The defeat by Wakefield ended their 17-match unbeaten home run in Super League's weekly rounds. That stretched all the way back to August 2003. They are a very demanding lot in this South Stand terrace. But Steve-O tonight, well, Ronnie the Rhino and company will hope that their men turn up and do the trick.
A little bit of doubt sort of hanging over the Headingley camp at the moment in regards to the hiccup. Well played by Wakefield, of course, and they struggled somewhat against a Warrington outfit. But this London side, the one thing you can expect tonight is some absolutely superb rugby league football. Tony Ray, their coach, is very confident. In fact, over the past few weeks, he has laid down the gauntlet in the capital city, saying that they are playing the best rugby of either code, so come along and see them. But he's got to concentrate more on today. They just cannot win away from home.
Yes, they've lost all 3 away so far in 2005. And Tony Smith has decided, rather than watch over on the dressing room side of the field, he will join us up here on one of the 3 gantries that they have at Headingley. And, well, he will hope, despite that they wobbled a bit before getting the verdict in the Cup against Warrington a week ago, he will hope that they are going to put that sort of form behind them. The last away win for London, by the way, a Dennis Moran-inspired 28-22 victory at St Helens last August. And they've only won twice here at Headingley against Leeds in Super League, 2000 and 1996. But they famously won a Challenge Cup semi-final here against Castleford in 1999 that took them to Wembley, only to lose the final to the Leeds Rhinos. And these South Standers will tell you very quickly it was 52-16 and a record Wembley victory.
And I reckon we'll get a very high score tonight. Great crowd. There's Richard Silverwood, the man in charge tonight.
And you're right about the high scoring, Steve-O. Leeds 53 tries, the best attack. London not far behind them, 48 tries. These 2 teams know their way to the line.
And I don't think they'll hold back either. That's why a big crowd has turned up here. And I'm sure that we will witness one heck of a game.
Okay, it's going to be the London Broncos who get us underway. The left boot of Paul Sykes. It's high, it's towards the corner, and Marcus Bai collects it for the Rhinos. A great chase from the kickoff. Good tackling there in the end. And it was Anthony Armour who got the first tackle of the match in on Marcus Bai.
The one problem that the Broncos have had is in and around the ruck area. They really have been cut apart in that department, and I do know that Tony Ray has worked very hard, make sure that they do work hard, first and second markers. They're doing that already. Can they do it for the full 80?
That was Andrew Duneman, and he gets the ball away and ducking under the challenges. A great run here from Willie Poaching. Normally he's introduced as a substitute during the course of the match, starting this game from the beginning, and Sinfield with the kick over the top and down towards the corner. And Luisi, the fullback, collects it, but a great chase from Sinfield's kick, led by Marcus Bai and Keith Senior.
Well, I think we saw there very quickly the second row of Willie Poaching.
High tackle by Jones Buchanan.
A silly high shot as well. Didn't have to do it. One thing making your mark and showing how tough you are, but they were in a great position. It was a good kick from Kevin Sinfield. But I'm just trying to make that point that Willie Poaching, as you said, he normally comes off the bench. It looks to me as though his coach has said, give me a good 20 minutes.
Here's Mark O'Halloran. Good run from him, just over the halfway line, inside the Leeds half of the field. The dummy half is McClendon, that's Luluai, and this now is Lolohea. Ryan Bailey eventually gets him to the ground. McClendon in again at dummy half, looking for Luluai, and finds him. And it's Solomon Harmono now, and he slipped the pass, and London keep it going. This is Luluai again. Luluai wide to Paul Sykes. Sykes watched all the way by Chev Walker and little Rob Burrow. McClendon, and he's lost the ball, and it's a knock-on, says Richard Silverwood. Paul Sykes, protesting his innocence, was looking for a penalty for a steal that wasn't forthcoming from the referee.
Well, it's important that the man has to secure the football, failed to do that. Silly messing around there by Chev Walker.
Let's get an early word from Dave Hadfield, who is on the press benches, the man, of course, who will select the man of the match. And let's get some early thoughts from him about possible contenders tonight. Dave.
Leeds haven't been quite at their best for the last couple of games, have they? But tonight maybe it's the return of Ali Lauatiti that could be the catalyst that could get them really firing again. If there was an award for the most improved Leeds player this season, it would undoubtedly go to Liam Bolton. His enthusiasm has never been in doubt, but he's really learning how to play this game now. Some eye-catching performances from him. Everybody knows by now how well the London Broncos recruited over the winter, but it's perhaps a couple of the players who didn't come over here with huge reputations have been the very best. Luke Dawn's been outstanding at stand-off, and Lee Hopkins, not the biggest second row, but a real all-action performer in the second row. We'll be looking out for him tonight.
OK, Dave, we'll hear from you with about 5 minutes to go. It's Thomas Luluai for the London Broncos now. Finding it difficult to get away through this Leeds defence. Mark McClendon in at dummy half. Of course, Neil Budworth out for the rest of the season, so likely that McClendon will stay there for much of the campaign.
Interesting, Eddie. I bumped into him in Leeds. He was doing some shopping at lunchtime, and I said, how are you handling the hooking role? He said, yeah, I'm getting used to it.
It's the last tackle, and there he is again, McClendon. He's at dummy half. He finds Luluai, little stab and looking for the runner. The runner was Lee Hopkins, and it's well picked up by Richard Mathers, and Mathers will counter-attack. Oh, a great fend, and here comes Richard Mathers. And London try and get him to the touchline. He bashed Luisi off twice, and now he has got Bradley Kualalala all over him.
That was poor play by the fullback Luisi.
Here is Keith Senior, and Senior with the strength. He stays in the field of play, only just. Marcus Bai is at dummy half. Here is Andrew Duneman. Duneman dancing, finds Senior, and Senior tries to get away from the would-be tacklers, but Trundle comes in and finishes him off with Lolohea. And this now is Ali Lauatiti driving for the line for the Rhinos.
He's got
the ball down.
What strength.
Try is given. Dave Hadfield said the men in the press benches think that Lauatiti might well be the catalyst, and Lauatiti has come up with the first try of the night. Great start for the Broncos.
Well, I must say, Leeds can put their try down to the run from Richard Mathers. Kick through. Hopkins put a lot of pressure, but he was on his own. But watch the poor attempt from Luisi. Went at him first, then he went high yet again. How many times do they have to learn? They've got to go low foot, get down on their legs, and they were slow on the blind side. Sheared upper body strength here. There's 5 there, and he still gets it. Only has to hit the whitewash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yet, he comes up with 4. It doesn't equate, but the Leeds fans are happy.
Well, Ali Lauatiti has missed the last 2 matches. He went home because of a family bereavement in New Zealand, and he has come back and he has marked his return with his 3rd try of this Super League campaign. The New Zealand international, and he was missed when the Rhinos lost their unbeaten record here against Wakefield last time out. Now, Kevin Sinfield, actually looking around some of these Leeds players, Duneman has had his head shaved, and by the looks of things, Kevin Sinfield has had a visit to the barbers as well, but he has hit the post with his first conversion attempt. Leeds ahead though, 4-0. Phil.
Fantastic start. The one thing you've got to try and do when you play against the Leeds side is prevent their offloads. You've got to control not only the man running with the ball, but the ball when you have as well.
There it is, you see the fullback Luisi goes high, fends him away, goes again. You've got to go for the legs here. They had to scramble. This guy went on the blind side.
So Paul Sykes restarts, deep kick off to the corner again, taken on the fall by Mathers. Here comes Marcus Bai. Almost 7 minutes on the watch. Great start for Leeds. We have the Hull coach John Keir alongside us tonight as our special guest. Early impressions, John?
Well, I've been looking forward to this, Eddie, because we've got 2 great attacking sides out there, but at the minute Leeds are dominating possession. They're looking very hungry after their last outing on Easter Monday when Wakefield really gave them a bit of a shellacking, and they're obviously sore about that, and they're trying to rectify that, and there's been some great starts out there from the Rhinos.
And the fact that London have lost all their matches away from home so far, their confidence on the road is a little low.
Exactly right, but it's got to come to an end sometime, Eddie, and we're better than the league leaders.
Sinfield with a left-footed kick downfield. It's picked up by Luisi, the full-back. He will try and run this back, and he gets as far as Bailey, who just grabs him by the collar and drops him to the ground. Well, the 2 coaches, Tony Ray and Tony Smith, of course, from Australia, both great friends off the field, and they regularly talk and chat to each other on the telephone during the course of a week.
Little doubt that Tony Smith also feels that Sebastian Luisi is a bit of a problem. If you notice on the two kicks, Eddie, they've kicked directly to him, obviously expecting a mistake from him.
Luluai with the kick over the top of all the defenders, and it skips smartly away. Oh, and Mathers, did he get a fingertip to that, and did he knock it over the touchline? I think he did. Yes, it's going to be head and feet here to London. Well, that's a mistake from Mathers.
Well, he tried to palm it back inside so he could pick it up on the in-goal area.
Yeah, I think
he was going for the 40-20, so he was trying to, he knew that it was going to be possession one way or the other, and then tried to flick it through.
But it wasn't a 40-20, was it?
No, it was just outside, but it's obvious, Eddie, as well, that there's a fair wind behind the London Broncos, and Lulai there really making full use of that with an excellent kick, and Mathers obviously just misread the situation.
Indeed, so this is Paul Sykes trying to level the scores. This is a great opportunity for the Broncos, and here they come. This is Hopkins, and that's a good tackle by Keith Senior, close to his own try line. McLinden again, the man at dummy half, and he gets the ball to Trindle, and he is grounded by good tackling from Danny Ward and company. Now then, it's Luluai. Luluai gets the pass away, and that is Luke Dawn.
Watch for the inside run now. McLinden should go on his own.
Penalty. Willie Poaching was all over the top of Luke Dawn.
Well, I'd take the quick tap. They haven't had much.
And that's what they do. The referee has to blow the whistle the second time before they can get on with it.
I think he took it from the wrong spot as well.
And this is McLinden now. Luluai looking for the runner, who is Trindle.
Looked a bit dodgy, got away with it.
McLinden again. Luluai once more. Luke Dawn will take over. Good reverse pass to Hopkins, impressing a lot of people this Lee Hopkins, and so is this fellow McClendon, but that's good tackling by Lauatiti. Wouldn't take the dummy then, wouldn't be fooled. But they're very close to the line still, the Broncos, with Luluwai. He'll hoist the kick wide. Calderwood is underneath this. Wells is after it. And where is the ball? It's amongst all of that. It's a knock-on, says the referee.
Well,
and it's going to be head and feet to the Broncos again.
Well, Calderwood definitely got a fingertip to it. What we've got to look at is, was he interfered with? Well, they were both going for the football, and you can see Calderwood definitely the knock-on. Could have gone either way. John Wells putting a lot of pressure.
And talking of pressure, this is yet more pressure on the Leeds defence from London. Sykes is wheeled to the ground. This is a huge test of the Leeds defenders now. And it's with Luluwai. He just delayed the pass, got the ball to Lolohea.
Just a little bit flatter London in their attack. Stand a little bit deeper, run onto the football a bit.
Here is Luluwai. Another dummy, flicks the ball back, and Luke Dawn takes over once again. Running flat across the face. Gets it away though to Haumono. Haumono gets the pass in. And the ball, well, he held it back and he got the pass away somehow.
That was a forward pass, the last one. Did well on it. Players haven't heard that. What the knock on the first time. Got to it, juggled it back, and it's definite knock on from this one. Or a forward pass, should I say. Oh, maybe not from that angle.
The referee has just said a knock on.
Well, there wasn't one. I thought
he and the touch judge thought there was.
I thought that, well, he went backwards. I thought he'd got him for a forward pass. Got to it. That's not a knock-on.
Leeds have the possession. Here is Marcus Bai. Unless it went forward and then bounced back off the Leeds player. But anyway, look, it's academic now, and London have given away a penalty for offside.
The biggest problem that the Broncos are having at the moment is that they're just going very high in defence. Can't afford to do that. Every time they've got Leeds down in their own quarter, they've allowed the Rhinos to have the luxury of getting to the halfway line before they even settle for the kick on the fifth tackle.
Got a little glimpse there of Tony Ray, the London coach, as his men give away another penalty which won't please him. Ian Milwood is the longest serving coach in Super League at St Helens, but Tony Ray actually played in 1996.
That's a knock-on, and that is a big error. Not even got to the first tackle.
Yes, Andrew Duneman with the mistake. He is doing a great job, though, this year with Matt Diskin out for such a long time. This is Sebastian Luisi again.
Isn't it amazing how the halfbacks just have to settle into the hooking role, both London and Leeds, without their regular hookers.
Haumono will play the ball, and on the charge comes forward again Lolohea, junior Kiwi international in 1998, alongside Ali Lauatiti, by the way.
Well, they're trying to play fancy football, London, but they've got to get back to basics. They've got to start using the big forwards.
McClendon again, and once more it's Lolohea.
They seem to be lacking a bit of spark. They need firing up somehow.
McClendon will try that down the short side. He's almost through. The ball goes all over the shop. It's hacked forward in the end, and it will wend its way to the touchline. It's Rhinos head and feed at the resulting scrum here.
Well, I can't believe that they opted for the kick. It wasn't on the final tackle. Mono really should have just thrown himself onto the football then.
One cap for Australia, 2 caps for Tonga in the 1995 World Cup, Solomon Haumono. And he played for New South Wales in 1997 in the Super League era down under. 14 minutes gone. Leeds, well, 4-0 up, having the better of the possession, but not doing all that they might with it. Duneman, Lauatiti wide, it's Marcus Bai. That's a good tackle. That's a terrific tackle by Bradley Kwalilawa. Danny Ward.
Good run by the prop forward there. That's the difference between the two sides. Look at the momentum that they're getting Leeds.
Great ball from Duneman to Sinfield. Great offload to Lauatiti. Oh, how's that to Mathers? Now they're lined up down the right-hand side. It goes over the top to Mark Calderwood. Calderwood taking on Sykes. It was was a bit high from Sykes, and he is not in touch. Saved himself in the field of play somehow. This is the last tackle. Duneman slides the kick in, back it comes, and it's free. It's going to be play on, and this is Calderwood again, and he's in touch this time. Well, that was a schmozzle and a half.
It certainly was, but the wonderful skills there of Ali Lautiti got him into that situation there. Went on the blind side. I'm not so sure that he wasn't down on the first instance. Did well, didn't he?
Well, they
got him
elbow,
on the second, yeah.
But it was too late. It's London's head and feet at the scrum. Leeds' mistake.
I'm being a bit pedantic on that, but shouldn't that be a penalty?
Probably so, actually, in the current climate, yes.
If
Lee Hopkins.
If he's called held and he moves them again, then it's got to be penalised. They're just
offload.
They're just making no progress. Look at that. They're going sideways, a lot of offloads, not advancing forward.
Ryan Bailey, referee shouting to leave him. And that's Trindle who will play the ball to McClendon. That's touched, but was it an attempted charge down? It's academic anyway. It's not going to find its way to the touchline, is it? Mathers having a bit of a mess, a bit of a job to get that in. Wells doing really well. And Calderwood coming to the rescue for Leeds.
Again going high. Can't afford to do that when, you know, Leeds have got the likes of this man playing the ball, Calderwood. Marcus Spy on the other end.
John Keir made a very good point about this wind that's blowing strongly from left to right as we watch, right at the backs of the London Broncos. And when they do manage to get a good kick in, it certainly is taking the ball a few further metres downfield. And Mathers has been caught a couple of times. He's Ryan Bailey. Becoming one of the most feared prop forwards in the Super League, this fellow Bailey. He certainly roughed the Bulldogs up in that World Club Challenge, remember, in February, when Leeds claimed the world title. And Burrow's kick is straight into the arms of Luisi.
Poor one.
And Luisi holding the ball one hand. Oh, Ward was high.
Well, I've seen him get sent off for that. That looked to me as though he'd picked his mark. He's got blood coming down his nose. Maybe that could be a squared up, but that is not the best place to do it. Bang. He knew exactly what he was doing there. Oh. That, I've seen them get sent off for that, Eddie.
Looks awful, doesn't it?
It is awful, Phil. Bang. He knew exactly where he was going. He knew exactly what he was going to do. There's no even any thought of anyone saying it was a lazy tackle. This will go on report. It better do.
Well, the touch judge has come on over on the far side. He came on a little belatedly.
Okay, it's going on report. Okay, penalty against you. Okay, get yourself off as well.
It's very rare, isn't it, Eddie, that you see a player sent off these days?
It is. Goes on report. It's some people claim the easy option for the referees to place things on report and let somebody else deal with it.
I know that they keep saying it, but you can't send anybody to the sin bin for foul play. You've either fouled or you have not. The sooner we get over that problem, because they really have not been penalised, have they?
No, they haven't. And
they've still got 13 players on the field. At least if they were off for 10 minutes, it would give the advantage to the side who's been hit in the face.
Well, there was at least one Super League coach who was expressing those sentiments last week. This is Hopkins. He gets the ball away to O'Halloran. And London will look to try and make more progress here. Hopkins once again gets the ball away, but it's pinched. Interception there by Ryan Bailey. Quick thinking. Here is Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
That came about because they were so flat. Good work from the Leeds ender, but they've got to really sort themselves out. I think Leeds are just playing a bit of cat and mouse here, just slowly but surely, just grinding their way. I think they know even now that they're confident they can rip this London Broncos side apart.
Barry McDermott is on. There he is. His 260th Leeds appearance tonight. And Sinfield hoists the kick. Now that will hang in the wind. And Calderwood's after this. Oh, but John Wells got it, and Sykes helped out there. He acted almost as a guard for John Wells.
That was tremendous play there. You can see straight.
Actually, Mark Calder would almost tackle the wrong man.
Well, to be fair, you could see John Wells, he shouted, "It's mine." And therefore, Paul Sykes said, "Well, I'll just do the shepherd, get in front."
This is Mark Tukey who will play the ball, and that's Nick Bradley Kualalawa.
That's a good move, I feel, by Tony Ray to bring Mark Tukey. This is see him shouting, "It's mine." That was excellent play, but great move by Tony Ray. They need someone. Mark Tukey really needs to lift them in the forwards, Phil.
He does, certainly does. Here's the little chip over here now as Dawn goes racing through, but I think Burrow will beat him to it. I'm just going to ask John Keir the question. Do you think that's quite a conservative opening quarter there from the Leeds Rhinos? I mean, on the back of losing the home record, they've been very strong defensively. I suppose that's the first side of half of your game. But in offence, fewer offloads really than we've seen so far from them this season.
I agree with you, Phil. That may well have been a target for them to control the football early on, especially before they start offloading the ball. But London certainly haven't taken that philosophy. Their philosophy is to promote the football at all events.
There's a high shot from Mark McClendon. That should have brought a penalty. It's getting a bit rough, this, and that was forward.
Well,
it was.
Lauatiti will dispute that. It was right beneath us, and it was a very 50-50 call. On that angle it looks forward, but from up here I'm not sure.
It's this side of the field though where Leeds look most dangerous, don't they? Lauatiti senior by on this left edge here. London do have a few problems.
Yeah, you're right, Phil, but the interesting thing as well is that they've got Hopkins out here defending on the right and Solomona defending on the left, and that's a reversal of the normal roles that London play.
London will be pleased with this situation. 4-0 down, that's all. And here is Joe Mabou. He's featured in the last 5, beginning to get established in the side this season, the big fella. And a drive forward here from Lolo here.
That's much better. Getting the momentum, they're getting over the advantage line.
John Wells again, trying to go up the middle. Chev Walker and Jamie Jones-Buchanan bring him down. 4 tackles gone, 2 remaining. McClendon to Dawn. Not the best play of the ball. Dawn again, stabbing the ball down towards the corner flag, and it finds its way to touch.
He'll be happy with that. They didn't come up with any points, but at least they can apply the pressure.
Well, Danny Ward's on report. He's also off the field at the moment, getting patched up. Bill?
Well, yeah, you're saying that justice hasn't been done. I'm not so sure Danny Ward would agree with that at the moment, because he's suffering for his sins there. You can see they can't stop the bleeding, and he's got a really nasty bang on the nose, and they're trying very hard to stem the tide at the moment. But I think he's in a bit of pain.
And did you notice who was sitting next to Danny Ward on the bench there with the headphones on? One Francis Cummins, who made his comeback in midweek in a junior game. He's certainly not under 21. It was against Keighley, and Tony Smith was delighted to see Francis Cummins back, because if he gets himself fit again, as I'm sure that's his intention, he will be a very useful acquisition in this squad. This is Duneman, meat in a London sandwich then.
It's getting chasey out there.
Sinfield finds Ryan Bailey.
I get the impression
he just brushes away from McClendon. McClendon was trying to pinch the ball. He's still going, Ryan Bailey. In the end, he's hauled down.
And there was 5 would-be defenders, should I say, that still went high.
High hanging kick again. It'll hang in the breeze. It comes back, and Poaching gets a stroll in. Poaching will improve the angle, and Leeds get the second try. Well, that ball hung in the breeze, and it came back like a bullet to Poaching. And he had the presence of mind to actually step inside the defender and improve the angle for Sinfield's conversion to come.
Well, I didn't really think that the Rhinos could go on the prowl. It's normally the lion or the tiger, and I just get the feeling from this Leeds outfit that they've just been waiting to take their opportunities, and it was a high kick. They came up with a knock-on. Poaching says, "Thank you very much indeed." Neat step around the fullback, Luisi. They've not got into top gear, and yet they've come up with 2 good tries. Poaching in.
And credit Mark Calderwood with the jump and the flick back for Willie Poaching. That was terrific work from the winger over on the far side. Here is Sinfield with the conversion attempt, and he finds the mark this time. Leeds into double figures. It's 10-0.
Well, both tries have come about from Leeds, coming from their own half, across the halfway line because of the poor defence by the Broncos. Tony Ray has got to get the message out there. Come on, fellas. We want more enthusiasm, especially in the forwards, but get this defensive line sorted out. Otherwise, they're looking down the barrel of a very, very hefty score.
Willie Poaching enjoying his second start of the year in the second row. He did also start at hooker against the Wildcats, and he managed to try against London here in 2003. They got away with it, didn't they? Mathers, he looks a little bit dodgy tonight compared to normal.
No,
Is it the wind?
He tipped it on to Marcus
Oh,
Byer
okay,
then.
that's a planned move, Phil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speeds it all up, that.
This is Lauatiti. The wind that John Keir talked about is obviously causing a few problems for the defence, John.
It is, yeah, and I think that those kickoffs are really interesting from Paul Sykes, because you can see how he tees the ball up and kicks it. It's like a spiral, and I think that's why Richie Mathers had such a difficulty fielding that kick on the full.
Here's Burrow trying to make some progress, gets the ball wide, and Chev Walker keeps going another 5-10 metres. Terrific work from the big centre. It's Burrow again, and Poaching. Oh, he ducks under one challenge, and he almost gets the ball away. In fact, he does get the ball away to Calderwood. Leeds are starting to find their paces here.
Well, it's paper thin, is this London defence.
Burrow to Sinfield, and here is Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Ball flicked away. Mathers onto Lauatiti. Senior, the queuing up. Senior scores. And a little shake of the head ruefully from Tony Ray. But suddenly Leeds have got the right mix. They have waited and they have waited. They have taken a bit of the life out of London, and they are suddenly starting to click. Keith Senior, his 90th try for Leeds, that.
Very simple build-up. Good work there. Offload. Jamie Jones-Buchanan was the offload there, and Senior goes in. But again, it all came about from very poor defence. 4 or 5 chances, and they all went high. It's as though London don't even know what legs are all about. They're the ones that are touching the ground, fellas.
Well, Keith Senior made his Leeds debut, rather, against London here in September 1999, and he has just scored the try that allows Sinfield to try and add the extras, but that wind drifts it away from the posts. 14-0 though, the Rhinos ahead.
Well, it's going to be a busy night for the man who's in charge of the scoreboard. There's a wind that obviously is going to be a great advantage.
Yes.
Especially in the second half to the Rhinos outfit.
And they've got some kickers who can exploit that, Phil.
They have, yeah. You know, it's amazing that kick-off. They almost won possession back, didn't they, the London Broncos? But luckily it went into Marcus Byer's arms. The worrying thing for London Broncos, and what you can't tell on television, is the power that some of these players have. For the first 20 minutes, it wasn't that evident. But the power that the Leeds side have developed meant that they could take the ball the length of the field and score a back-to-back try on the 5th tackle. And really, as this first half wears on, that's a very worrying time here for London, unless they can really up their efforts and the technique in defence.
13 missed tackles by London.
And it's going to be, oh, that's a knock-on. That'll be the play on. At least they've had a little bit of luxury there.
It was Maguire who got a real heavy challenge.
There's a problem for London player. It's
oh, this is the full-back, Luisi. Tackled by Chev Walker. And here is Joe Mabou.
It's
10 metres away.
David Heighton that has a big problem.
Now then, Thomas Luluai. Oh, he's ghosting through. He's got Mathers with him, but Luluai has scored. Luluai touches down. He just stepped inside the challenges then. And Mathers couldn't get the tackle in. Well, he got to him, but he couldn't prevent him from touching down. Luluai with the try for London. And it's just what they need, really, to settle them down.
Boy, they needed that, as you say, Eddie. This guy's settling ever so well, hasn't he, into this country. Luluai came about by the big hit, and it was a big hit. Trouble is, I think it hurt David Heighton. He was down receiving treatment. And the one thing that London have not been doing, Leeds have just had a carbon copy. Nice step. Pat a cake, pat a cake. Well, we can sit back and enjoy the luxury of some of these tries, and I'm sure there's going to be more and more points scored.
London got the possession after Danny Maguire was hit really hard. The ball came free and they made full use of it. And here is Paul Sykes to add the extras, he hopes, which he does. So Sykes with the goal and Thomas Luluai with the try, and of course memories of James Luluai for Hull all those years ago, scoring tries on this ground against Leeds.
John Keir, so many missed tackles, you'd have to be a concerned coach.
Yeah, you'd be concerned. 13 missed tackles, it's a great number at the minute, but Leeds do make you work very hard with their offload game, which is becoming more and more prominent as the half's progressing. But you've got to give a rap as well, Steve-O, to that marvellous defensive hit that forced the error, that gave the field position to the London Broncos, that Lulai took advantage of.
Liam Botham is on, number 21. The coaches both ringing the changes here. London, though, back in the match here, 14-6 down. Oh, went without it then, David Heighton. And it seemed actually to go through his legs, but the referee sees it another way.
Well, that went backwards, didn't it? Well, he obviously feels, the official, that no control constitutes a knock-on.
Well, in this game, any fumble of hand is dropped on by referees.
Most of the time.
This is Maguire now. And he brushes Luisi off again.
Well, I've got to get to this lad's legs.
Duneman and Sinfield. Sinfield can't get the ball away, but he gets to the 10-metre line on the second tackle. Duneman again. McDermott was the dummy runner, so he finds Maguire. It's Burrow, and Burrow brings Botham into it. Running
Good
strongly.
Run. Great run there. Came back on the angle. Not running straight. Stretching the defence.
Maguire once more. Great ball to Sinfield. He was hammered by O'Halloran as he received that. It's Duneman. And Duneman with the looping pass to Botham again. And Botham fancies his chances here. Steps out of the challenges. And it's Duneman again.
That'll be the
Caught in
turnover.
possession.
A little bit scrappy there. Surprised me that Leeds, well, they were panicking at 14-6 in a good position. They've got to learn to just completely slow things down and control the football. They got a bit impatient there, did the Rhinos.
John Wells trying to scamper away from dummy half and make some good meters too. I mentioned to Tony Smith last night, Phil, when he was our guest at Huddersfield, whether he thought the champions were wobbling. He sort of brushed away the question, really. He said he didn't think so. I suppose you wouldn't expect anything else, but do you think they are wobbling a bit?
I think they're not playing anything like they were 3 or 4 weeks ago. I mean, they went to play Huddersfield at the Galfam Stadium, and really it was classic rugby league. They destroyed the Giants on that occasion, but they haven't been able to play like that since. I think they defended pretty well this half, other than the missed tackle for the try. They're going to have to do some defending here, though, now, because London is starting to offload.
And that's Dawn, and this is Luluai again. And wide it goes to Paul Sykes. Brilliant pass. And again, a great offload. Joe Mabou. Man out wide is John Wells. And Leeds muscle up in defence in the end.
Great tackle from Chev Walker.
Wonderful sweeping move, and the ball has come free. It's a knock-on against Wells.
Well, Wells gave himself up. But what a cruncher from Chev Walker.
But what a sweeping move at the end of this.
Well, then, was it dragged out? Well, there's certainly hands around there. Chev Walker's been around long enough. Yeah, he pulled it. Should have been a penalty.
What a move, though. What a wonderful sweeping move from the Broncos.
It certainly was. Good quality, and they got around to it, but this is where they're falling down. They get the Leeds in a good position, then they forget to tackle.
They're pretty hard to stop some of these guys, though, Steve. Marcus Spy, you never see him close up. He's like the width of a double door. He's so wide on him. And
I know, it doesn't matter how wide, how big or strong, they can't run with the legs, with tackles.
But the other problem, if you do go for the legs when you play against the Leeds Rhinos, he'll just offload to somebody around him, and then that comes on. You're defending, you're in reverse gear. Penalty now to the Rhinos.
I mean, it's obvious that this man, Tony Ray, has said we've got to stop the offload, but if you're going to stop the offload, make sure that somebody's going down on the ankles. They have got back into an attacking position with so much ease of the Rhinos in this game.
This is Liam Botham. He is featured in the last 5. Of course, he had 8 matches on loan with London only last year, and he kicked the goal that got London a 36-all draw against the Rhinos last year.
I think that did him a world of good as well. Gave him plenty of game time.
Duneman plays the ball to Rob Burrow. It's with Maguire, who finds Lauatiti. Oh, brilliant through the legs.
Was he held, though?
And Ward is back. And Duneman again. Rob Burrow. Sinfield pops it up. Botham. Gets the ball away, Duneman. Wide it goes, Sinfield. Wide of Sill to Chev Walker. And Walker on the last tackle. Tries to play the ball. Now does. Ball is stabbed to the in-goal area. And it is run over the dead ball line by Paul Sykes.
A lot better from the Rhinos. Took their time, didn't panic.
Well, they're trying to find the key, Leeds, aren't they? They're trying to find the key to unlock this defence.
It's a great time to win a goal line dropout here now. Just, 4 minutes to half-time. Perfect time. And we saw the Giants yesterday could lift. You need to put something in special here now. An extra effort, a bit more power in that run. Get the arms free for the offload, because here's a chance to get a great try before half-time.
Mind you, with this wind at their backs, this goal line dropout could well end up way up the other end of the field. Sykes will give this some humph. Way over the halfway line. Lauatiti took that a little awkwardly, but look at him. He comes forward with the ball on just one hand. Trindle got the tackle in.
Well, we saw the replay, didn't have that wonderful offload through his legs. Such a talent. Wonderful ball control.
Sinfield plays the ball to Duneman. Here is Maguire. Ball on the inside to Danny Ward. Good tackle by Trindle. And Danny Ward is still bleeding badly, so he has to go off the field. So Richie Mathers will play the ball to Duneman, to Bailey. Bailey is grounded 12 metres short of the line. Duneman, Maguire. Maguire with the pass to Lauatiti. Lauatiti takes some stopping. He gets it away to Maguire, who will score. Lauatiti, if you don't trap the ball in hand, he can offload it from impossible situations. And he's laid on a plate Danny Maguire's try on this his 80th appearance for the Rhinos.
Psychologically, it's a bitter blow for the London side, but as you say, Eddie, this guy is just superb. Just rampages through to the dummy. Watch how he looks back on the inside. It's amazing. It's as though he looks with his eyes and say to him, back on the disappointment on the face of Tony Ray. And he knows it too.
Remarkably, for a young man who scored 39 tries last year, that's his first in Super League, but he has been out injured this season, Danny Maguire. But he is a great, great British talent, and there's another one as well, Kevin Sinfield. Battling his way back to fitness, Danny Maguire, after the groin operation. And that try will do him the world of good. Now, Sinfield, who began the match needing 6 points for 1,000 in his career, and there's 2 more of them, so he's 2 short of that milestone now. Kevin Sinfield, 2 more points for 1,000.
And I hate to say it again, I just feel that the Rhinos have not even started to get into 3rd gear, never mind top gear. And with the wind behind their backs in that 2nd stanza, I really fear for the London side. Tony Ray will be happy to get them in at half-time, trying to well, stem the tide, because it's going to be coming in the 2nd half.
Mathers to Marcus Bai. He's halted 20 metres away from his own line. And Duneman is in there at dummy half. Sinfield Rob Burrow. There he goes. Quick heels, hasn't he, little Rob Burrow? And he's revelling in this opportunity. This is his 8th consecutive start, and he's benefiting from it. And here is Sinfield, he's got Maguire. And Maguire is just collared in time. It was an important tackle that, and he is injured.
He is injured. He was trying
Dawn got to him.
He was trying to offload at the time when he just got caught. So therefore it exposed the shoulder, and I think he's taking the full brunt.
And Tony Smith is anxious.
Beautiful play by Sinfield. Just got to him. You see, he was trying to... When you're trying to offload there, they just thought about it. Watch. Looks to say, I'm trying to offload, and bang. That would have jarred the shoulder no end.
The referee has told Liam Botham to take the ball off Danny Maguire and let's get going again. Which is the way it is in rugby league. No sentiment for the injured player in this sport, unless he's in a real problem, and then the referee wisely stops the clock and stops the game, and we all wait to see what happens. And that pass from Burrow found Senior.
Well, if Leeds score here, I just can't see the Broncos getting back into it.
Duneman. Infield to Sinfield. Maguire is still out there. He's been patched up. The kick's looking for Calderwood. Oh, and the ball's all over the shop. And was that offside? It was a knock-on anyway.
Leeds head and feed.
Not enough time, though, I don't think. Leeds will hurry to get this packed down.
All over the place. No doubt about it. It was a knock-on from John Wells. And he's saying, get in the scrum.
Well, Leeds are formed, Leeds are ready, so that's why the clock is stopped.
They're pointing.
Well, they're now formed. And this is Walker who finds Maguire, who finds Burrow. And Burrow straightens it up.
That should just about do it.
One quick play, the ball maybe. And Mathers with the kick wide, looking for Walker out there. And Walker's got it! And Walker gets the try. And look at the time. 40 minutes gone. And there's the try for the Leeds Rhinos and Chev Walker. He's in a great run of form, is Chev Walker. But that was a wonderfully floated kick by Richard Mathers.
Seconds. And he just takes it as Walker with ease. Not the best jump from John Wells. Remember the build-up to it. John Wells wasn't very happy with going for it. Was he pushed away? Either way, they were both going for the same ball. And that is play on. That is a great take. Good kick by the fullback, Richard Mathers. And I'm afraid London, they're sunk.
Well, maybe they will believe that they can come out in the second half and they can mount a challenge. Chev Walker, though, right on the stroke of half-time. And an important kick coming up here for Kevin Sinfield. I don't know whether he is aware, but this Super League's top goal kicker, he has got this kick for 1,000 points in his career. It's on its way. And he notches a wonderful milestone, Kevin Sinfield. 1,000 points. But more importantly, he gives Leeds a 26-6 advantage at half-time. Well, Leeds took about 20 minutes to get going, and then they found exactly the right mix. And they have scored 26 points. Tony Smith will be a little concerned that maybe they conceded 6, but that's the way it stands at half-time. Coming up Sunday morning, the second of our matches from Australia's National Rugby League. It's Sean McRae's South Sydney Rabbitohs. They take on the Newcastle Knights. It's a 10 o'clock start on Sky Sports 2. This is the Engage Super League, and the Leeds Rhinos are ahead 26-6 at half-time, and they got the bonus of the try right on the bell from Chev Walker, and Sinfield added his third good kick of the night. And that is 1,000 career points for Kevin Sinfield as of this moment. It'll be a happy Leeds dressing room. They waited, didn't they? I think Steve-O made the point in the commentary. They waited, they watched, they soaked up the pressure that London brought to them in the opening 20 minutes or so. And after that, they just clicked up a gear and they have scored those tries. And, well, Steve-O says they're sunk, but London will not have any of that, I'm sure. And they will try their damnedest in the second half to get back into this match. But you have to remember, Leeds will be playing with a very stiff breeze at their backs in the second half. And they've got some great kickers who could really turn some great field position for the Rhinos. Now then, talking of the Rhinos, Ronnie the Rhino, he's run for Parliament, he's paraded round Old Trafford as a champion, and he's run the rings round the opposition in Super League, but now the mascot is facing his biggest challenge yet. He's running the London Marathon. He's going to be joined by the Rhinos Operations Director, Steve Ball, in the race on the 17th of April to raise money for the Save the Rhino Fund. Not that rhino, the real rhino. And well done to him. Now, Ronnie will be running, but sadly Phil Clark won't be. His name was on the list, but you're injured and you can't make it, is that right?
I've gone soft this year, haven't I? Yeah, I hurt my back in training, so maybe next year. But good luck to Ronnie, he'll need it. It's pretty tough. Take on plenty of water. I don't know how much a rhino normally needs, but he might need a little bit more on a hot day down in London.
Well, let's hope it's a hot day. It's the 17th of April, which I think is next weekend, isn't it? And we wish him well. As Phil was saying he is out of the race, Steve-O was nodding behind him, saying that he is in.
No, I'm disappointed as well that I applied and I also just didn't get picked. It's as simple as that, because there are so many people getting there and I just didn't get in on the ballot. It's a shame.
It is a shame. Let's talk about the match. John Keir, Leeds Rhinos, and of course the Super League's a marathon as well, isn't it? All the way through to the middle of October. But they look as though they can push on and win this by a good margin now.
Yes, I think Tony Smith will be very, very pleased, Eddie, because I thought they started off a little tentatively after the Wakefield defeat. I was here at that game, and they made lots of errors. They turned the ball over very cheaply, and Wakefield made them pay. And I think the first 20 minutes, they came out determined to look after the football. Then as the halves progressed, they really have started running some good lines. They've all started pushing up together, which has been isolating London defenders, and they've started to offload as well. And I think that's why the points have come. And also, with regard to this win, I think the Leeds kicking game was exceptional that first half, because they kept putting the ball high in the air and it was hanging, so it allowed people like Calderwood and Walker really to make a strong challenge when the ball was coming down for the London receiver.
You make the point about frustration that Leeds will have because of that defeat against the Wakefield Wildcats. We saw last night Huddersfield, they were frustrated because they went out of the cup, and they really did a good job against Wigan. I think some of these players do get frustrated, don't they? And they want to take it out, and it's like getting back on a bike after falling off, I suppose.
It is, yeah. I mean, that's the good thing about rugby league. You've got 1 week in which you have to wait before you can put your performance right. And I'm sure there's been a lot of hard work done on the Leeds training paddock in order to ensure that they do that this week. And they certainly are doing. And it's an ominous scoreline, 26-6 at half-time, especially with Leeds having all the advantage of the weather in the second half.
Well, we asked Tony Smith at Huddersfield last night, are your champions wobbling? He said they're not. And Phil, to be fair, although we almost ducked the question as well in the first half, they're not wobbling, but they're not playing as well as they were early.
They're not playing as well in attack. We're not seeing those scintillating tries where they're flicking it out. Guys, 10 people being involved in a try, starting near their own try line and finishing underneath the opposition's post. But what they are doing is defending very well. You saw that they only made 4 missed tackles out of over 80 in the first half, and that's an amazing statistic in the rugby league sense, because somebody's going to miss tackles sooner or later. One of the missed tackles actually led to the try, didn't it, when Luluai got over. So the defensive platform really is allowing them to attack really in the manner that they want to do so, and really, if you defend well, you've always got a chance of winning the game. They're doing that, and they're doing a little bit more as well.
And with the benefit of that try right on the stroke of half-time, we might see a 10-man move from one end of the field to the other in the second half.
I think they're only human, aren't they, those players? We've often put them up on a pedestal, but they lost. Confidence was affected because of that loss, and maybe it takes a while to refine that confidence. Now with a half-time lead and the fact that they're running into space, they're dominating their opponents, I think the confidence will come back, and we might start to see some of that vintage Leeds Rhinos.
And as far as the London Broncos are concerned, Steve-O, they've got to get over this travel sickness, haven't they? Because they simply cannot win away from home.
Well, they can't this season. The amazing thing is a couple of years ago, and they couldn't win at home. So I don't know what it is, whether it's to do with the travelling. But the one thing about the first 40 minutes that Tony Ray will be disappointed with, and the rest of the side, is that they've missed 18 tackles. You can't afford to do that. Look at this. Every time they got Leeds back on their own line, they allowed them the luxury to come the halfway. That is poor defence. Luisi tried on 2 attempts to get to Richard Mathers, and from that position, this fella says, just give me the 4. great strength. There are 5 would-be defenders there. That set the ball rolling, and Bailey break again. Look at that. They don't want to give him a haircut. They should tackle him, go for his legs. I don't know why. It's obvious Tony Ray has said to them, we've got to stop them offloading. Yeah, but stop them running first. This was a kick. This is the one that led to poaching. It was a gift. Obviously, Tony Smith realises that there's a problem with John Wills because there was more to come for him. This is the senior try. They just kept it alive, but I kept saying it, even though it was midway through this first half. The composure, they kept it nice and steady. This was their one and only chance and opportunity. Leeds missed tackle 2. That was about it. Add another one to that. They only made another one in the first 40 minutes. And then Lauatiti, watch this, hanging off, back on the inside, nice step. Can't do anything about him. And as ever, Maguire in support. And with 3 seconds remaining, 1, 2, 3, Calderwood just about wraps it up as far as I'm concerned, unless Tony Ray can really get something sorted out. Defence has got to be his priority in this second stanza, and also he's got to get a little bit more life into his pack. The one thing they often say about this Leeds outfit, that when it comes to the forwards, they're a little bit soft in the belly. Well, London hadn't found it.
I wonder whether this travel sickness is a problem. I mean, how do you get over that, John, as a coach? You know, it's a long time since they've won on the road, London. They were beaten by Lee, of course, last time out. So confidence away from Griffin Park, where they're a different side.
They are a different side. At Griffin Park, they're very, very difficult to beat, and obviously it affects other sides going down there. But it's something that they've got to legislate for and plan for, so that they can ensure that when they travel up, whether they travel up overnight or on the day of the game, whatever, that it's suitable for the players to be able to go out there and start playing from minute 1. But I don't think it's the trouble with this game. I just think Leeds are playing the better rugby league, and I agree with Phil. I think the play that for me emphasised Leeds' commitment for defence was the tackle on John Wells in the corner, which was a super passage of play from London Broncos, but Leeds just scrambled back and held him out in the corner, and that's typified Leeds for me tonight.
Well, they did win last weekend in the city of Leeds. They were at Hunslet in the Cup. They won by 70 points to 4, London. That was a victory on the road, but hey, this is the Super League. It's a slightly different kettle of fish compared to the Hunslet side, with all due respect to them. Now then, who's going to win the Watchers Man of the Match? It's the dubious responsibility of the British press, and there's the gift that someone will be taking home tonight. I think at this moment in time, it might be going home with the Leeds Rhino wearing it. We shall see. London could easily form a huge fight back in this second half. They're against the wind, though, and with so many great kickers in the side and in this sort of form in the air, Chef Walker's try, it could have clinched it. Let's tell you what is coming up next week on the Super League on Sky Sports. Wigan against Leeds, Friday night, 7:30, Sky Sports 1. And then next Saturday, 6 o'clock, Sky Sports 1, we're in the capital for London against St Helens. So we'll see London again next week, and the Saints turning up at Griffin Park. I think that might be a terrific game, actually, because London are totally different on their own pitch compared to travelling away. And here they're losing 26 points to 6. And they've had to do a bit more work in the tackling department, but they have missed 18 tackles already. And Leeds have made 10 clean breaks. And 19 minutes Leeds have spent in the opposition half of the field. There are the top performers in the 3 disciplines.
About is that they only had 5 minutes in the Leeds half with possession. You can't afford to do that. Add that to the 18 missed tackles that you were mentioning. Big problem.
Well, there's no Gareth Ellis out there for the Leeds Rhinos, but he's on the sideline talking to Bill.
Gareth, it took a while for them to get there, but they do look to be in control, the Rhinos.
Yeah, I think it was a good half of rugby for Leeds. I think Keith Seeney's been particularly dangerous down the left-hand side, and the more ball we get to him, I think the better.
The kicking game seems to be causing the opposition plenty of problems.
Yeah, it's something that we've been working hard on in training. I know Kevin's been paying particular attention to his kicking because it's been poor in the past, but we've really put some good kicks in today and they've come up with the points.
We're going to see an avalanche in the second half, do you think?
I'd hope so, but I think London are a very dangerous team, particularly in the backs, and if they can lay a foundation in the forwards, it's going to be tough. But I hope we'll get a few more points.
Thanks, and all the best with the knee.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Yes, out for a couple of weeks, Gareth Ellis. Just needed the knee cleaning up a bit, according to his coach, Tony Smith. And he will not play anybody who isn't 100%. And of course, he didn't do that all the way through last year. And there were not too many who weren't 100% last year, to be fair.
That is for sure, and it's
they've been good without the likes of Maguire and Diskin this year.
And it's a good move by the coach as well. If you have a problem with somebody, that's a high shot. If you're going to have a problem with someone, you may as well get it done early in the season and bring him back to the business end.
I think Luke Dawn just realised how strong that wind is in the face of the London Broncos. He put that kick up and it went, well, just straight up and down in the air, didn't he? He wanted it to go forward towards the Leeds line. Have to put it far harder downfield if they want to gain ground on kicks.
Danny Ward has returned in the second half with the nose now not bleeding. This is Liam Botham. And Duneman finds Sinfield, who in turn finds Richie Mathers. That's the last tackle for Leeds. Duneman again, Sinfield. Wide it goes to Maguire. And further wide and off the knee, shin or boot of Keith Senior.
Very flat there, not a good pass either.
Just that last piece, just the play before this, as the ball goes out of play. You saw Richie Mathers as a fullback. He actually plays up in the line, almost like a second standoff, doesn't he, in centre field. It's quite a different way of which some teams are using the fullback.
Oh, a mistake by O'Halloran.
Well, he took his eyes off the football. It's as simple as that. They're not getting the basics right.
He saw Sinfield closing in, didn't he?
Yep. Had a little look that was coming at him. The ball is the most important factor. Without it, you've got no chance.
It's Maguire. Mathers, here he is again, chiming in. Tackled though by Hopkins, and there's three there pushing him back. Referee shouts held. Here's Duneman. Now Danny Ward spins away from one, would be challenged from Tukey. Tukey comes back again with help from Joe Mabu. He's brought down. Stern face on Tony Ray. Sinfield. Heighton missed him, got the ball away to Duneman. Ward again. 10 metres away from the London line. Duneman to Sinfield. Here is Botham. And Botham backing himself.
Become a lot more confident, this fella, hasn't he?
Plays the ball to Burrow. Bailey. Sinfield. Maguire. Good defence. Closed him down then. Last tackle here for Leeds. Sinfield, drop the shoulder. London muscle up, surround him, can't get the ball away. That's the turnover.
Well, not surprisingly, the scoreline 26-6. They go for the power play. You know that London come up with some pretty basic mistakes. They just look completely out of sorts. Take nothing away from this Leeds outfit. The defence has been pretty solid. They're working as a unit. Can't say the same about the Broncos at the moment.
Bradley Kualalawa, he plays the ball. That's Luluai. Short ball. Oh, and an important tackle by Botham on Danny Williams. This is Sykes. Sykes gets London to halfway after 4 tackles. Luluai. Williams again. Dumps the ball back. Heighton has got Duneman all over him. They made no progress then on that tackle. This is the last. They're on halfway. Luisi gets the ball away. Luke Dawn. Oh, Duneman actually tackled Luke Dawn without the ball then. He got away with it. And Maguire picks up the loose ball. Just a little bit of a lapse in concentration by the Rhinos. Here goes Lauatiti again.
Great to see a second rower looking for work as well. We know his qualities as the offloader. Here's a big fella going on that blind side, and when Leeds utilise 2 runs down on the blind side, you usually get the link.
It's with Duneman now. Back on the inside to Mathers. Mabu gets to Mathers, but he still manages to slip the pass to Duneman again. Mabu hunting once more. It goes to Ryan Bailey, and Bailey steps up the middle. He's got Maguire on his inside. Maguire will score under the sticks. Second try for Danny Maguire. Great support play, but wonderful stepping from the big, young prop forward, Ryan Bailey. Terrific run from Bailey, and Maguire with the coup de grace.
Fantastic play by the prop forward. Full credit to Leeds, they kept the ball alive, but look at the London defence, and they still can't stop him. They still can't, they're hanging around. What is he going to do? Tell you what he's going to do. He's going to step like a three-quarter, then straighten up, and look at the positional play by Maguire. We know his qualities of sidestepping and going through and finding the gap, but his ability to read the game is nothing short of superb. Just watch Al Maguire. He knows he's going back, he's going that way. Maguire said, I'm on the inside. Wonderful, wonderful effort.
And Kevin Sinfield from bang in front doesn't make a mistake with those. He adds the extras. It's 32 points to 6 to the Leeds Rhinos. Well, interestingly enough, if you look at the records, if London are ahead by half-time, they usually kick on to victory. But Leeds do an awful lot of damage in the second half of their games. They were led only once at the interval this year, and they lost. And that was against Wakefield.
Eddie, we talked at half-time just what sort of attack we'd see from Leeds in the second half. 7 people handle the ball then before Danny Maguire put the ball in. That's probably more what we're used to, and that's really what we want to see from them, isn't it, in this second half?
Absolutely. I mean, people might say, well, it's a bit one-sided when Leeds start playing like this, but it is fabulous, entertaining stuff to watch.
Well, they had to work very hard to score, didn't they? They didn't just run out of the way, the London side. They made it hard, but some good skills. Leeds players offloading when they can. Look, they look for that late offload in the tackle, because that hurts the defensive side so much.
Unbeaten in the last 11 against London, and they've lost just twice in 17 encounters. That's a good deep kick. That's a 40-20, I think, from Kevin Sinfield. The wind at his back, and they get head and feed. Wonderful kick from Sinfield.
No pressure whatsoever. Take nothing away from the ability of the kicker. You could see that the fullback not in a very good position at all. He was camped underneath his sticks whilst this fella took it on the short blind side.
Well, he's Super League's top kicker so far with the place kicks, and of course he's Super League's top kicker and point scorer last year. Burrow just fired the pass straight into the face of Marcus Bai, and he apologises to his teammates immediately.
Well, it certainly was a power pass, but you can see there that Marcus Bai had already decided to just step off the left foot. Throws the dummy. He was coming back on the inside, and I think more than likely Beep Beep just said, sorry, I should have realised you were coming back on the inside. There'd have been no one there to stop him. Marcus Bai would have been well and truly on his way to the post for another try. Disappointed.
Danny Ward's on his way to the bench again to have that nosebleed stopped. So he goes off, and Nick Scruton is the man who comes on. There's close links between these two clubs, by the way. No fewer than 8 Leeds men have had their careers enhanced by loan spells with the London Broncos, including one who's out there right now, Liam Botham, who we mentioned earlier on. This is John Wells.
Well, at 32-6, you'd feel that Tony Smith will say, well, we'll give Danny Ward benefit of the doubt and just no point in letting the claret run all the way through.
They'll be anxious to enhance their impressive points difference, Leeds, if they can. London, that's forward. Well, it's play on, as you say, but that looked as though it had gone forward to me. But who am I to judge? Heighton. Good tackle by Burrow.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff, isn't it?
Another ball that's all over the shop.
That'll be back to 6.
Luluai, he hasn't wiped the tackle count down yet. Luluai dancing his way down the middle, flicks the ball away. And this is Luisi. And that, yes, he has wiped the tackle count down now. Heighton, oops.
Oh, dearie me.
picked up by Duneman.
It's all right when you use a dummy runner, but why on earth do you want to use a dummy runner in that position there? That forward should have been looking for it, keeping his eye on the football. These are professionals.
Scruton. Mathers, dummy half. Lauatiti. Oh, stepping brilliantly again, Ali Lauatiti.
I don't think he's got a sweat up yet.
Maguire. Poaching, steps away from Sykes. Straightens it up. Can't get the ball away though, takes the tackle. Burrow. Sinfield over the top. Wells has a plop at it, and Calderwood grounds him in the in-goal area. He never gives the chase up, Mark Calderwood, does he?
He's become a specialist at it. Went through a dodgy period 18 months, 2 years ago, and full credit to the man for fighting his way back. One of the form wingers, must have his eye on Great Britain at the end of the season.
And he needs just one try for 100 in his career. John Keir, let's have a word from you about the opening 11 minutes, second half.
Well, I think the signs are very ominous for London, because the Leeds Rhinos are not only dominating possession, Eddie, they're also dominating field position. And the more time that Leeds Rhinos spend within 20-30 metres of the London Bronco line, the more tries they're going to score. So all you can see happening at the minute for the last 30 minutes or so is more Leeds Rhinos points.
Burrow there, finds Bailey. And Bailey, oof, and then he just put his hand in the face of the London defender. This is Sinfield and Maguire. No way through for Scruton. Burrow. And this is poaching. I think they all want to get their name on the score sheet, don't they? Burrow dabs it to the in-goal area, and Luisi has taken over the line.
Again,
another goal line dropout, another set of 6.
Yeah, and it's an important one, and it's a...
And remember, they're against the wind here.
I know, it's a busy night, isn't it, for Tony Ray and the fullback Sebastian Luisi's realising that this is what it's like at the top of the competition. For a few weeks, it looked as though London perhaps were thinking maybe of consolidating a top 6 playoff.
Steve, would you go for a short kick here? No, he's kicked it deep. At 32-6, though, if they've got to have any hope of winning the game, they had to get possession. I don't think they can stand another 6 tackles close to their own line.
Good challenge, though, there by Williams on Marcus Bai.
Good point there, Phil, but I think that they've resigned themselves already, and they just want to make sure that the ball gets as far away from the try line as possible.
Burrow to Lauatiti. Burrow again. Sinfield. Here they come. Bailey.
He's had a big game, this prop forward, Ryan Bailey. Impressed me tonight.
Sinfield again. They'll come down the right channel this time. Maguire to close friend Mathers, who just gets away from the would-be tackle from Luke Dawn. And Mathers up the middle. Oh, he just presented the ball, though, into the arms of Mark Tukey. Luisi, welcome to the top of the Super League. Bailey, what a hit.
Solid defence, isn't it? But again, Luke Dawn going high, and the ball, they're just pushing them away. It's not been a very good performance.
There's McClendon. Ball is lost. Leeds have it back. This is Mathers, and from broken play they will try and attack now.
Zero tackle here.
Well, they were certainly going into the tackle, wasn't he, Nick Scruton? But at least he was going low, right into it.
Yeah, Harmono couldn't hang on to the ball. It's another error. Well, that's amazing. Leeds have made the same number of handling errors as London. 9 apiece. Oh, Burrow will scamper away from dummy half using his pace and having the great presence of mind to keep on going when they were trying to swat him to the ground. That's a brave try from little Rob Burrow. He just injected the pace then, shot away from dummy half. 2 or 3 of them tried to swat him like a gnat, and he just brushed away from them and was under the sticks.
Embarrassing is about the only word I can come up with. Look at that. No work from the first and second markers. Trying to go high. Did anyone go for the legs? Hey, no. 4 times they had the opportunity. Look at the gap. Look at the lack of enthusiasm. Look at the high hits. No one going for those twinkle toes. Takes full advantage, this man. But it was shocking work in the first and second marker position.
Sinfield adds 2 more points to his name and to the Leeds Rhinos scoreboard. 38-6 now.
Eddie, I think that the controlled approach that Leeds took to the opening 20 minutes, and we spoke about that, and the power and simplicity has caused problems. There's the mistake. Just not too many tacklers missing it. Burrow's coming around to score.
So Burrow with another try. He really is benefiting, isn't he, from this extended run in the first team, John?
He is, yes. Now, you spoke about the errors, Eddie. It's not only the fact the same number of errors, there's also another side to it. One is, when do you make them in the tackle count? If you make them early, it hurts you more. And also, which position in the field are you making the errors? And the Broncos inevitably coming up with errors in their own half. And that's why Leeds are just dominating the field position and are being so dangerous.
Knock on, and Bailey not happy with the attention that he received then. He just put the ball down, Ryan Bailey, and he didn't like that for some reason.
I think Danny Williams was trying to twist his ankle, Eddie.
There is Danny Williams, who was on the deck. Had hold of his ankle, certainly.
Well, he's allowed to do that. Probably not happy with the winger, Bradley Kaluwa.
Who again?
You heard it. I'll call him BQ from here on in.
Well, why don't we take an oath to call him Nick Bradley from now? This is Luisi.
Well, they've got to play with a bit of pride now, London. The game's gone, they know that.
McClendon, ball in field. And that is Lolohea.
Ooh, that was forward.
Well, Harmono carries it on. And there's a chance here. Oh, the ball is picked up by Sykes, but he had his back to the play. He was running the opposite direction. Last tackle. Hopkins, McClendon, nice step. High kick, and behind his own line, it's easy for Marcus Bai. And away he goes, Mark Calderwood, trying to catch London on the back foot. Good tackle in the end from Armour, but
well,
second effort, McClendon.
He knew that he just had to stop the momentum. And again, they got himself in a decent position, did the Broncos, and just frittered it away. Lack of communication. We haven't seen the twinkle toes of Luke Dawn. Little glimpse of Thomas Luluai in the first half when he scored a nice try. But other than that, well, they've looked lost of London.
Here is Willie poaching. Mark McClendon there with the tackling. He will be our guest, by the way, Steve-O, on Boots and All on Wednesday. Probably not the best time of the season to talk to him, but we'll be looking ahead to the match against St Helens Wednesday night. Join us for that. This is Mathers, meanwhile, for Leeds. Fed he was then by Lauatiti. There goes Burrow again, finds Maguire. A dab down the line looking for Marcus Bai. And London in the shape of Bradley, Kwalilawa, decide to hack the ball dead. Or Nick Bradley, as it should be now.
Yeah, this will please their coach, Tony Smith. The ability to just keep turning the team around. Little kicks into the corner, then high kicks. Saw 2 tries come from the kicks in the first half from the Rhinos. This has been a very solid performance without really stretching themselves, I feel.
Oh, wonderful from Marcus Bai. Try for Richard Mathers. Marcus Bai picked the drop out from underneath the sticks up, took 3 men out, slipped the pass, and Mathers was the man in support. His 24th consecutive appearance, his 5th try of the year.
Just bumped him off, didn't it? Held the ball to perfection. This is the dropout. Watch this. Got to make sure you get him. 2 under 1, left it. Huge gap on the outside. He'll be happy with that. Boom. Great offload, wasn't it? Well, this is one thing that will really lift the spirits. Quite a few people in Super League, after that loss to Wakefield, perhaps, started saying that the Rhinos were having a bit of a wobble.
Liam Botham is going to have a kick at goal here. Remember, he kicked a goal in that 36-all draw against Leeds last year. And it was off the touchline as well, if memory serves. But he missed with that one. 42-6, though, Leeds ahead. They can, I suppose, enjoy the luxury of experimentation. Mathers with the try. And Richie Mathers got a try here in the 28-26 win against London in 2002. A little bit closer on that occasion than it is tonight. We're midway through this second half. There's no way back for the Broncos now. John Keir, if you were Tony Smith, would you now take the shackles off Leeds completely and say, look, let's show the watching world our skills?
No, I'd continue to do what they've been doing, Eddie. They've been very, very effective, putting into practice on the playing field what they did on the training paddock, and that's all they need to do is be relentless, be ruthless, and really turn the screw, and the points will come.
Duneman.
The problem for McClendon, he's down in back play.
He is our guest on Boots and All Wednesday, and another problem here because London have conceded another penalty.
Well, it's sheer desperation now from the Broncos. They're trying everything just to hold people down.
Let's hope McClendon isn't badly hurt. Hopkins just hanging on to the shirt collar. So Leeds are in an offensive position again. They're 20 metres away, and this is Duneman. And here is Scruton. Duneman again to Maguire. And they miss out a couple, and it goes on the bounce to Marcus Bai, and it's easy.
No one at home. They'd gone shopping. They were down the head row, and this guy just skips in at the corner. It is very easy, and it is extremely embarrassing for the London Broncos. Anyone at home? Hello? Hello? Look at this. Leave a message, Marcus, because there was no one at home.
Phil Clark, have you ever experienced travel sickness like this? Because London cannot win away from home. Did you ever come across this in your career?
No, I went to Sydney once with Great Britain and we didn't travel too well, but
you're not on your own there, are you?
It's a little bit different. I don't think it can be the travel sickness really. Today at the moment they just don't look to. I mean, they've got to be careful here. If they don't improve their attitude and effort, I think over the next 18 minutes, then they're going to be awfully embarrassed at the end of this match, because all you can see is one-way traffic at the moment. They need to find something. I don't know what Nick Bradley Qualidalawa thought there on the wing, why he came into Keith Senior, but defensively they're making mistakes. The penalty on the 4 tackle didn't help them, as the kick goes wide now to the left from both of them. They really need to find some spirit. I know they won't win the game, but at 46-6 they've got to do something, because they've got a tough game next week, and obviously habits die hard in rugby like anything else. They need to improve the habits right now.
The London supporters don't look too impressed, do they?
Well, they've every right to be upset, because...
But it's such a different side at home. They've put 72 points past Wakefield.
I was just about to make that point. So they're looking at that scoreline here if they don't shake their feathers, because they are just not playing as a unit. But I picked it up early. Within 10 minutes, there was no spark in the forwards. There didn't seem to be any idea. You know, Tony Ray has been talking about this wonderful skill that they can produce in attack, but you've got to get your basics right.
I think it was always going to be difficult, though, today. The team that came here to Headingley after they'd lost the home record would have to do something special to win.
This time next week, we are in London for the visit of the Saints.
Oh, this is it's embarrassing, Eddie.
Mathers, another missed tackle from Luisi, and over the top to Senior, and Senior scores another try, second try for him. They've now hit 10 tries past the Broncos, And there have been 8 different try scorers. It's the missed tackles that are costing London dearly. And Leeds in the mood here to really go to town.
If you want to play patty cake, then go to the beach. Look at this. Touch on the back, another touch, another touch, another touch. They're supposed to hit them and make the tackles count. They deserve a drubbing.
They're getting one, Steve-O.
Look at that. Hormono just taps him on the shoulder. The attempts. It would be wonderful for me to say the Rhinos are absolutely scintillating. They're absolutely superb, but I can't because London are so bad.
Well, I think you've got to give credit to Leeds for the style of play. And I mean, if Liam Botham kicked the goals, it would be even worse than the 50 points that it is. And remember, their opening 20 minutes, Steve-O, they ground it out. They waited. They wanted to see what London had to offer, and they were offering plenty then.
Of course they were, but they were still losing a situation where their defence was poor. John Keir, if you were the coach now of London, Tony Ray, what on earth can he do?
Well, first of all, I'd have looked at them stood behind the post, Steve-O, and the body language of the group of players was absolutely terrible. They looked disinterested, and it really is a measure now of the character, not the rugby league ability, but of the character, just the fact that they can hang in there, they can show some mental toughness, somebody can put off a few good tackles, and they can just lift the intensity again, because they really are struggling, and every time the Rhinos get the ball, they look as if they can score.
John, you know, in the boxing analogy, they say early in a fight a lot of boxers go with body shots because it takes it out of the opponents, and you see it later in the fight. I wonder whether the power that Leeds played with in the first 20 is now showing this evidence.
Look at this. They are ripping London to shreds, and it is Mathers with the try, his second, and Tony Ray has come down to the sideline to try and inject something into his players, to try and inject some enthusiasm. Well, it is a bit late, but he is obviously embarrassed himself, and he doesn't want this to continue if possible.
Yeah, it's a wet day now. It's raining, Eddie, it's cold, it's windy, and the Antipodeans in the London side really are not enjoying this, but they must show more pride in the shirt and also in the group of players that are out there.
Well, isn't it amazing? We talk about this London side, 70 points against Wakefield, the same Wakefield that came here, Headingley, a week ago, just over a week ago, and then beat the league leaders, and now we're seeing the league leaders just absolutely ripping them apart, and it is embarrassing.
But they are world champions, they are champions of the Super League. You're very harsh on London, and I can understand why, but this is a world champion side, and here's another kicker, Rob Burrow having a go. Botham's tried 3 times and missed. Here's Burrow, Sinfield off the field, and Burrow has missed. He's hit the post.
They are absolutely fantastic side, we know that, but if you've got half the other side that are looking like dustbins that won't move.
He is furious. Tony Ray has sent the message out that he is not impressed with this.
Eddie, I also think as well what Phil was speaking about before that Leeds break, where I thought Leeds played it quite conservatively the first 20 minutes, and it really has paid off as the game's gone on. They've grown in confidence, and now they really are playing some super stuff. So we can be hard on London, but let's also applaud Leeds and the skills that they're showing.
Absolutely, and look at them. You would think it was 6-4 in London's favour, the way that they are running onto the football. Barry McDermott, they're giving the Broncos a bit of a lesson. And this is poaching. And the ball has come free and gone backwards to Duneman, and here comes Jamie Jones-Buchanan. And wide to Marcus Bai, and Bai steps in the challenges and scores another.
Half the London side stopped because they thought he was a forward.
Well, he's gone to the video referee, but he wants to check about the knock-on. He cannot even discuss the forward pass.
Well, I think poaching he's lost the ball, no doubt about it. He now wants to see whether it was going in a forward motion or did he go backwards. That'll be a knock-on.
No.
And went backwards.
You don't want to give this for some reason, Steve-O.
I think he's knocked on. There's no other reason. poaching, loses control.
But doesn't the ball go backwards?
No, I think it goes forward.
John Keir, coach's view?
I think he's trying to offload the football. He's trying to offload it in a backward direction. It catches one of the London players. If you just watch him, he tries to offload it in a backward direction. That should be play on.
It hit the knee of the London man, didn't it?
It did.
Certainly did.
Play on.
There was certainly the suspicion of a forward pass out wide to Parker Spy, but we can't look at that.
Whether it's at his own knee or anything,
He'll give the try.
Well, he's not checked the touchdown, has he? He's not seen it at the other end.
The try.
The try is given. And Marcus Spy, that's his second try as well, and his 6th of the season. And Sinfield has returned to kick the goal.
And
Now then, Burrows had a chance, and Botham's had 3.
To make matters worse, watch the finish of this from Marcus Spy.
That's how to kick a goal. Sinfield. It's 60 points to 6.
My goal-kicking position is quite safe, he says to everyone out there. I've given you the chance. Look at this. The offload, 2 in there. And watch the finish. Watch Mr. Bye. That's not good defence.
Well, Jamie Jones-Buchanan was put on his backside, wasn't he?
Bit of a step. Nice and steady. In a very good, strong contest, Marcus Spy would have gone like the clappers into the corner. But he knew all he had to do was just take a little step and he would score.
5 tries in 10 minutes, Phil.
Do you know, I think the more embarrassing it now becomes for the London Broncos, the better for next week, because they'll hit rock bottom here now. And next week, they'll have so much to prove in their performance against St Helens that the worse it gets here now, the more of a response I think you'll see from them next week.
Yeah, they needn't worry, it's only Saints next. Knock on by Kevin Sinfield. They are human after all. They're a very good side, John. I mean, you have all 3 of you been very critical of London, and rightly so with that scoreline, but this is a good team.
This is an excellent team. I mean, you don't go through all your home games last season without losing, and you've gone through the first 9 rounds of Super League and just spilled 1 game. They're an outstanding rugby league team, but what's impressed me, obviously the handling ability, etc., but defensively they've been very, very sound indeed of the Rhinos, and they're still putting that they're still applying that even at this late stage in the game.
I wonder if the message from Tony Smith now is, let's concede no more points.
Oh, little doubt, that's what he'll be thinking, and that is what he'll be wanting as well.
This is David Heighton. Well, just look at that. That's for the match as a whole, and Leeds have been camped in London's half for nearly half an hour with ball in hand. London, 9 minutes.
And that's like about 3 boiled eggs, isn't it? End of story. They've not been at the races. I know it's a big day, Grand National Day, but I'm afraid the hurdles have been too hard for London to overcome.
It's a play on. No, it isn't. They've stopped Lola here from going over for the try. The ball came out from the tackle, but the referee said the ball tackling arm did not hit the ground. Here comes McDermott then.
He'll be loving this, Harry McDermott. I know that the Leeds fans, especially underneath us in the South Stand, they are singing. They were stunned, as I say, just over a week ago, but they have been outstanding of Leeds.
Oh, and Calderwood stepping out of challenge after challenge after challenge. They have been outstanding, and there's over 14,000 inside Headingley tonight to see the London Broncos on a Saturday night. There were only 8,000 here last week for the game against Warrington, which is surprising. Maguire with the crossfield kick. Mathers is hunting this. Luisi gets to it. Oh, and does well to release the pass.
Look at that defence, right to the end.
Yes, McDermott strongly into Bradley Kualalawa.
This is also a good opportunity. You talk about scoring points for Leeds, you know, points difference may take its toll in the rundown. Good break here.
Hopkins.
Good work from the second rower.
Still going. Leeds eventually getting down.
But this is also a point for a lot of the players, you know, to get up their tackle counts.
It's Luke Dawn, and ball comes in field to Lola here. Oh, the ball has gone. Oh, and Willie Poaching's going to drop on this. He gets to halfway. Forward pass.
Just a little bit lazy. Not surprising. 60 points to 6. Yep. Just overrun it. Did Liam Botham. Well, the man of the match obviously is going to be a Rhino.
Amazing statistic tonight. 12 tries Leeds have run in, and Mark Calderwood still is on 99. He's in the nervous 90s. He's still looking for his 100th career try.
It often works that way. They've been so organised of the Rhinos in their defensive pattern. They're working hard for each other.
Well, Williams did well in the end. Heighton helps it on, and Mabou, but Botham is all over him, but gives away the penalty for the second shove. And McClendon limping a bit, but thankfully recovered from the heavy bang he took earlier, finds touch with the penalty. Heighton, and here now comes Hormono.
Well, it's amazing. The crowd underneath is Eddie. They're singing "My Old Man's a Dustman."
McClendon again, and almost through, but Nick Scruton did well to pull him down. Here's Heighton. Now then, Luke Dawn. Leeds force him back.
They will scrap right to the end. Leeds do not want to concede any points whatsoever.
Their line is threatened, as it hasn't been for much of this match right now. That's 4 tackles gone, though. 39 missed tackles by London. And Hormono flicks the ball away. It goes backwards. Ooh, that was nearly a dangerous tackle.
Yeah. He gets through a lot of defensive work, you know, does Rob Burrow. Realised just at the right moment. He's pulled out from it. Could have been a spear tackle.
Sykes to Height.
Oh, his knock on, is it?
No, off his ankle, says the referee. And Mathers carries the ball forward 10 metres, and they get the penalty. Let's get down to Dave Hadfield. Which Leeds player, Dave, is going to win your Man of the Match award tonight?
It's a two-way split. We thought Ali Lauatiti might make all the difference tonight, and indeed he has done, scoring 1 try, setting up another 2. Very influential performance. And there's somebody we think has been even better. Ryan Bailey has been an absolute colossus for them. Great strength and presence. Never seen him look so good with the ball. He's our Man of the Match tonight, Ryan Bailey.
Ryan Bailey then, and very well deserved. This is Liam Botham.
He's had an outstanding game.
It's been a great performance from Bailey.
He's been everywhere. Love to see the forwards looking for work. That's another advantage that Leeds have as well, that they work as a unit, both in attack and defence. Oh, that's an error.
Good hit by Sykes. Great hit by Paul Sykes on Chef Walker then. Ball spilled. 3 minutes remaining. And that's high. High from Duneman on Joe Mabou. So London maybe will finish with a flourish, perhaps.
No,
they won't.
No, they won't.
They're just a little bit too fancy for their own good then.
Well, Lee Hopkins just really took his eyes off the football, and that's been, I'm afraid, the order of the night. Talented player, but they've given them no room to move. It's been one-out football basically throughout the entire game from the Broncos. That's been brought about by the enthusiasm that's been shown by the Leeds defence.
Well, can Leeds... Oh, charge down. The kick from Maguire. I think they were looking there for Calderwood down the wing. Here goes Burrow. Oh, that's come away off Sykes. And London back in possession with 2 minutes to go. Here's Luisi, the full-back.
If there's one player out there in the London outfit, you've got to say that can walk off this field with his head held high, it's got to be Paul Sykes.
Dawn gets the ball away to Williams. comes back, takes the return. Leeds again muscling up in defence. Can they keep London out? Can they keep them down to just the 6 points? Heighton, they're going down the short side, are they? No, Heighton comes this way, but Sinfield's all over him. That's number 4. Danny Williams waits. There he is. Now they go the short side. This is Hopkins. And he lost it there. Marcus Bai has the ball for Leeds. Well, a 10-man move, length of the field? Maybe not.
I think that's what's needed now. Send the crowd home happy. It's pinging across this right wing. Let's see Mark Calder go the length.
You might be right as well, because he has been screaming for the ball in the last 10 minutes.
And he knows
he wants it.
On a night when so many tries have been scored, and he's on this threshold of the 100 career try.
Well, what about the kick over and chase?
Well, it might come in a moment. There's Sinfield. Back it comes to Maguire. Here is Burrow. Maybe they'll do the usual way. Mark Calderwood. And he's after it, isn't he? Managed to stay in the field of play. Plays the ball on the 4th tackle. Botham finds Maguire. Maguire then on to Duneman. Duneman measures the kick, looking for Marcus Bai. It's over the top of Hopkins. Marcus Bai's after it. Marcus Bai will score the try and get the hat-trick for the Leeds Rhinos. He hasn't given it yet. He's just going to check whether he's onside. But Duneman looked wide and measured the kick. He's not asking for onside. He's asking about the grounding.
Well, I think the grounding's all right, but I think he may. That's not a knock-on, that's fine. I think he might have been just in front of the kicker. It makes no difference. Just to this guy, if he can pick up the hat-trick, that's no
Nothing
problem.
wrong with that.
Well, and the referee has not called for it, but is he onside? Yes, he is. No problem. Another TRY will come up on the big screen.
Well, he made his Leeds debut against London last year and grabbed a hat-trick, and here he is now, over 12 months on, and it's the same medicine for the London Broncos from Marcus Bai. 64 points to 6. The kick to come for 66-6 and clickety-click.
Anyone want to pressure me? Not really. I'll just take my time and put a kick up. Onside, 4 points. We said it might be a busy day for the guy who looks after the scoreboard here at Headingley. It has been, and it will be a very sorry long trip down the M1 to London for those guys.
So, Sinfield to make it all the sixes. But he has missed. Well, a few goal kicks have gone west. It could have been even worse for London. As it is, it makes pretty grim reading for the men from the capital. 64 points to 6. The champions, after their wobble against Wakefield, their struggle against Warrington, they are back on course. A terrific win. 64 points to 6. And while a lot of the inquest will be spent talking about a poor show from London, we shouldn't forget some scintillating tries that we've seen from the champions. Their fun began, as far as they're concerned, in the 5th minute with the Lauer-Titi try. They continued it on right the way through to the last minute with Marcus Bai, 64-6. And Ryan Bailey goes home not only with the points, but with the watch as man of the match. He's talking to Bill.
Ryan, it's normally the flash guys, the Marcus Bais, the key seniors that get the man of the match for hat-tricks and things like that. So congratulations. I mean, you had to work for the position to score the points, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. I think full credit to our lads today. We stuck to his game plan. Last week didn't play that well, and this week we stuck to game plan and full credit to lads.
Well, you've had a bit of a jittery spell. You had that defeat by Wakefield. Warrington pushed you close. Is this business as usual?
Yeah, it is really. As I say, full credit to lads. We stuck to the game plan, and hopefully next week we can do it again.
And it looks as though you're back on track.
Yeah, we are. See, we're up and out, and it's great.
Well done on a man of the match performance.
I say hello to my little son at home, Jordan.
Ryan Bailey, delighted man of the match. A London coach who is, I think, seething inside. And Leeds taking the deserved applause from the South Stand here, and Coach Tony Smith and his assistant Brian McDermott alongside him. A quiet smile there of satisfaction from the Leeds Supremo. They have won, and won easily. 64 points to 6, and Leeds are back. Final score here at Headingley, an easy victory for the Leeds Rhinos, 64 points to 6. I don't know what Tony Ray will be thinking right now, but I bet Tony Smith is well pleased. Here he is with Bill.
Tony, emphatic scoreline. It took a bit of work to establish the platform to do that, didn't it?
Sure did, yeah. The real arm wrestle there early on, and you know, they're a quality team. The roll started. Once it starts, it's hard to stop, and you know, we've been on the back end of it. Happened to us not so long ago, and you know, I feel for them a bit there today. They're a much better team than, you know, what the scoreline shows.
But that will do your side a power of good after, as you say, that Wakefield result, and then, you know, real arm wrestle against Warrington. To get a win like that under your belt, it's back to normal.
I don't know if that's normal. That's, you know, above normal there. But I was really pleased, aside from the scoreline. Great defence. We had real commitment there today, and you know, unfortunately, they just made too many errors and put too much pressure on themselves. And, you know, then we scored some points, but some really good defence there.
Sounds as though you've got a good deal of sympathy with your opposite number, Tony Ray, because you're helpless in a situation like that, aren't you, as a coach?
Yes, you are. And I know how easy it can be to be on the other end of it. So, you know, I'm not just looking out for him. You know, that's just how it is. That's rugby league nowadays. The scorelines can just, you know, start tumbling against you, or sometimes go tumbling for you.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Cheers.
That's the view of the coach. Let's hear now from one of the Leeds players. Remember, Marcus Bai made his debut for Leeds against London start of last year, grabbed a hat-trick. Same again tonight. Here he is now with Bill.
Marcus, you pushed him close for man of the match, but I think Ryan Bailey probably deserved it.
Yeah, you know, I think our forwards deserve it. In the last couple of weeks they were down a bit, and we never rolled forward, but I think he stood up today, and I think he deserved it there.
Has that been the key, actually, winning the battle up front?
You know, I think, you know, we had the last, you know, against Wakefield, after Bradford game, we put so much in against Bradford, and against Wakefield, they stood up on us and made us play with a lot of mistakes. And we were a little bit flat, but, you know, we kept coming back, which is great, and our forwards kept coming back, and you know, it's great for us anyway.
Well, it looks as though you're well and truly back after that.
Yeah, I would. It's still a long season, you know. We just got to work hard every week in, week out. We got another tough game next week, so you know, hopefully we can come out and ready to play again like today.
For a wingman, though, to be able to be on the outside of that must be fantastic.
Well, I suppose you got the forwards kind of float, and we're always there for them. So if they work hard, we have to make them happy with what we should do, and it's our role to do. And sometimes you're down for it, but sometimes you're up for it. And I think today was just one of those games that then I was lucky to be there on the right time, and the score was fantastic anyway. So
thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Happy Marcus Bai, why shouldn't he be? 3 tries, all right, he didn't win the Watchers man of the match, but he has cemented Leeds back there at the top of the table. There is now a 2 points difference between themselves and St Helens, and it's Leeds at Wigan next Friday on Sky Sports, and we'll see London next Saturday at home to St Helens. They are a totally different kettle of fish, believe me, at Griffin Park than we have seen here tonight. So if you like it, have a look at London next week, because they will be, I'm sure, a different side. Tony Ray will see to that, John Keir, won't he?
Yeah, I'm certain that he will. I think there'll be a lot of soul-searching going along. There's lots of work to be done to fix up many, many areas. I mean, when you concede 13 tries, you have to look at the reasons why. And I'm certain that come next week, London will be very competitive against St Helens. And I think it'll be a very good game, because they tend to be that traditionally the London Saints game. And London will come up with a vastly, vastly improved performance from that. I'm
sure there will be a vastly improved performance from London. Tony Ray is aware, you know, that they have this travel sickness. He says it's something that doesn't really bother them. You know, it's something that obviously he wants to put right, but they don't concentrate on it too much. But it's becoming a bit of a monkey on their back now, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's more for the media than for the players themselves. I think they've just got to look at their own individual contributions towards the team performance. And Tony Tony Ray's got to look at the team structures that he puts in place for whatever opposition. But first of all, they've got to get back to London, and they've got to sort out next week, and then they can worry about their away form, because the imminent problem they've got is to pick up their performance from tonight.
Absolutely, and Phil, all three of you were critical, and rightly so, of the London Broncos in that second half. And when you have a statistic that we saw that towards the end of the match they'd made 39 missed tackles, it's no wonder that they lost the match so heavily. But let us also give a little bit of praise to Leeds, eh?
I think so. I think we've probably go away with the images of Leeds' try-scoring ability, but I think very often this season it's Leeds' try-saving ability that wins them games and is the turning point. We talked about Mark Calderwood today. You know, you might laugh, but in the first half the score was 18 points to 6, and London put on a magnificent breakdown centre field, swung the ball wide to the left wing, but Leeds' cover defence, which has been outstanding at times this season, was good. It denied a try to the London Broncos just late in that first half, you know, that period there when London were coming back into the game, and at 18 points to 10 they might have lifted in confidence and got themselves back into the game. As it was Calderwood and a couple of other Leeds players who got across and denied a London try, and I think that defence and that try-saving ability is as important to the Rhinos as their try-scoring ability.
Indeed, and when you talk about try-scoring ability, Steve, or the try right on the stroke of half-time, they say in football if you score on the bell at the 45th minute, it gives the team a lift for the second half in soccer. I've never seen a try, I don't think, scored with 3 seconds to go in rugby league before, but that certainly gave Leeds the lift for the second half.
Well, I think you've only cast your mind back to that Warrington game. I think it was St Helens that scored with.
I meant in the first half.
Yeah, with the but for the 2 seconds to go. It's a matter of concentration, and quite frankly, London just didn't concentrate today. They didn't even get off to the races, never mind win anything of it. Their defence was very, very poor. Eddie's mentioned that 39 just before. They added another 3 to that. It finished up as 42. This is the Ryan Bailey break. You can see that the London defence are just hanging off. They're not really making the impact. And Mathers can offload. But watch this. Twinkle toes. A forward shouldn't be allowed to do this, John Keir, down the centre of the field of play.
No, he's renowned though for good footwork, is Ryan Bailey. He doesn't just cart it up and get his head down his backside up and try and run over players. He's also very adept with his footwork, and I think that showed then. It's a great skill that he's got, and this fella's absolutely sensational, isn't he? Once defences start tiring, he'll just run the ball at them, he'll two-hand carry, he'll duck, he'll weave, and he's absolutely sensational. And this was a tremendous try here. Marcus Bay picked Lula out, bumped him off, offload, and there's the finish for Richie Mathers.
Phil, the next try, it was, well, simple. It wasn't the best pass in the end, but no one at home.
Well, London have been weak on their right wing, Nick Bradley-Kwaliwawa, and it has been a problem for them.
Yes, it's been a problem for London tonight to try and stop the Leeds Rhinos. We've seen just about every one of the Leeds tries, bar maybe 2 or 3, but Tony Ray bravely has come out of the dressing rooms and is going to talk to us right now. Bill?
Tony, that must be a pretty shell-shocked Broncos dressing room.
Oh, we let ourselves down. You know, played a good team and they played very well, and you know we didn't. You know, that's way below what we're capable of and what we expect of ourselves. Just dropped our performance level a bit too much in the last few weeks, and we're accepting things that aren't acceptable and weren't acceptable to us when we were building ourselves as a group, and we've got to get back to that as a group. You know, pulling together, and we know we want to be, know we can be. Just gone a little bit doing things on our own a bit, I think, lately, and it's reflected in where we were going.
Is 1 or 2 people guilty of believing the publicity because you were on such a high and standing high in the tables as well?
Yeah, it might be a factor. I don't know. We'll have to have a bit of a talk as a group on that, but there's no indication of that. You know, perhaps if anything, it's just as a group we were. You know, maybe if anything, we've forgotten how we got into those things. You know, and yeah. We were running up some good scores and everyone was talking about it, but when we were running up them scores, there was nothing coming against us, and that was the key to us. And you know, now there's some points coming against us, and that's what's disappointing. But you know, there's enough talent in this group. You know, they're a real talented bunch, and that didn't change. Hasn't changed in the last couple of weeks, and it's just important that we really pull together good and you know, respond is the best way to go about it.
It's hard to believe when you look at that scoreline, but at 14-6. You were really making a game of it, and then just towards the end of the first half, and obviously the second half, it just ran straight away from you, didn't it?
Yeah, but 14-6, we weren't doing what we wanted to do to make sure the ball game was going to be there for us at the back end, you know, and the players know that. There were some things that we could have done we're probably hanging in there, showing a bit of grit at 14-6, but I don't think we're playing as intelligently as we wanted to. And I just thought, a couple of individuals just kept on trying to drag us out of it. I thought the captain was outstanding in his efforts inside of it, and the halves keep chipping away and trying to drag us out of it a bit. And they need some help around there. I just thought, even at the start when the scoreboard wasn't as bad as it was, I knew deep down that we weren't going to be there at the end because we weren't doing what we wanted to do, and it probably showed.
It's going to be a big week preparing for St Helens, isn't it?
Oh, it's got to go over tonight. Tonight's important. We've got to make sure we ice up, get our bodies back together, and take tomorrow. Let's get tomorrow right before we worry about next week.
Thanks for talking to us.
No worries.
Yeah, well done, Tony Ray, for standing in front of a camera and answering Bill's questions. It's always easy when you win, but it's a bit difficult when you lose. It's only St Helens next. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier, does it? I think that's a common theme throughout Super League, though, Eddie, is the standard of competition is very high. And although we saw a very one-sided scoreline tonight, I totally agree with Tony Smith. London are a better side than the show tonight, and I'm also convinced that next week you will see a much better performance from London, and you see that on the tight pitch down there at Griffin Park. And I think you're in for a heck of a game, and I think that's what we'll see next week.
That's easy for you to say. You're the only coach that has actually beaten London at home this year.
Yeah, and we went down there and we played pretty well, and they played pretty well, and it went right down to the wire, and there was sort of many anxious faces amongst the whole crowd and amongst the whole coaching staff and amongst the players as well at the very end there, because they were right in our line when the hooter went. And they are a very creative rugby league side, but I totally agree with Tony Ray as well. They need to get back to the basics and remember what made them such a good rugby league side earlier on in the season.
I'm sure they will do that. Right, let's now pick up the week's news, and after that we have the highlights of the two games that you didn't see on Sky Sports last night. Here's Rod Studd.
The world of rugby league has paid its last respects to Trevor Foster, who passed away last weekend at the age of 90. Hundreds of mourners were at the St Cuthbert's Roman Catholic Church in Heaton to say farewell to the Bradford, Wales and Great Britain legend.
Even though he's a Welshman, me and him have a lot in common, the way I feel about Bradford, playing there for so long, and the way he came from another country to embrace the city itself as well. Big tribute must be given to him from the rugby league side of things, because he's always been such an immaculate ambassador for the sport. So, can't really say. I've never heard a bad word said about Trevor, and there's a reason for it.
Bradford and Great Britain boss Brian Noble is among 4 Super League head coaches who've had cases referred to the Rugby League Disciplinary Commissioner after comments allegedly made about match officials. The others are John Sharp, Ian Millwood and Carl Harrison. Lead forward Richard Moore has had a 5-match ban reduced to 4 on appeal after being suspended following charges of raising his knee and striking in the win over London. Leeds veteran Francis Cummins has made his long-awaited return from injury. In his first game for 6 months after a knee reconstruction, he came back with a bang and a try in the Senior Academy match. Leeds, though, will be missing Gareth Ellis for the next fortnight or so. The former Wakefield captain has undergone a minor knee operation. And Wakefield will be without key forward David Solomona for at least 6 weeks. The New Zealander broke his hand in the win at Leeds and has had an operation on the injury. And Widnes coach Frank Endicott has become the Loner Ranger in a bid to pull his side clear of the drop zone. Jamie Durbin from Warrington, Hull's Richie Barnett and St Helens Graviani have all joined the Vikings on temporary contracts. After 2 wins on the trot, was this the start of a Lee revival? Certainly not at Knowsley Road, as Saints handed out an 11-try thrashing. Jamie Lyons started things rolling in only the 2nd minute, and it was a miserable first 40 for Super League's bottom club. A great night, though, for Sean Long, who passed 2,000 career points. This the first of 2 tries, and he also kicked 5 goals after resuming kicking duties. Long finished with a personal haul of 18 points, and that was equalled by Jamie Lyon, who notched a hat-trick. The Aussie centre once again in blistering form, finishing of the highest quality, making it 18 points to 0. And when Paul Wellens brushed off the would-be tacklers to make it 24-0 shortly afterwards, Ian Millwood's men were rattling along at a point a minute against his old club. They moved level on points with Leeds at the top of the table. 2 minutes after Wellens' score, Long got his 2nd try of the night. He converted his own touchdown, but that was his last involvement in proceedings. The scrum half went off nursing a knee injury. The game was over as a contest by then, though, and St Helens had time to add another 3 more tries before half-time. The hooter bringing an end to the pasting at 46 points to 0. Good work by James Roby created a try for Aidy Gardner, and Vinnie Anderson went over in the corner for try number 7 as the Centurions continued to wonder what on earth had hit them. The most significant try of the first half, though, could well be the last one. Jason Hooper, after 7 months' worth of knee trouble, the scorer. Saints delighted to have another key man back in action. They were still missing Paul Sculthorpe, though. The second half started just as the first had. 2 minutes in, the next try. Aidy Gardner grabbing his second of the night, and Saints had hoisted the half-century. And a couple of minutes later, Lyon went over for his hat-trick try, and at 54-0, with over half an hour to go, a record Super League score was a distinct possibility. A winning margin of anything over 70 would have taken Saints top of the table on points difference. But in the final 30 minutes, Lee scored 3 tries to 1, the first of those from Steve Maiden. With Lee finally on the board, John Duffy scored a scruffy, scrambled second for the Centurions, and John Wilshire then made it 3 tries without reply for Lee. In a disappointing season for his club, the winger has stood out with his try scoring. Saints also lost Aidy Gardner to an injury and lost their way too after the game was won. But they did have the final word. Jason Hooper with his second try of the night, and 60 points to 16 represents a pretty good night's work by anybody's standards. And St Helens remain second favourites to win the grand final. At the Willows, Salford leapfrogged Wakefield in the Super League table after a tense and tight struggle against the Wildcats. It looked like being a breeze, though, after 2 tries in the opening 10 minutes. Luke Robinson scored the first inside 2 minutes and was followed over the line by fellow Wigan old boy David Hodgson, and that made it 10-0. And another nightmare night on the road was looming large for Wakefield. The Wildcats have been consistently inconsistent. Hammered at St Helens in London, but brilliantly winning at Leeds, and they fought back here as Sylvain Houle went over to score. And that try and 2 Jamie Rooney goals made it 10 points to 8. It was 16-8 at half-time to Salford as Robinson scored his second of the evening, but the second half was anything but an easy ride for the City Reds. A Jules O'Neill try dragged Wakefield back into it and back to within 2 points, but that was as close as the Wildcats got, and a jittery Salford hung on to go 8th in a very congested middle of Super League.
Confirmation then of how it's gone so far this weekend. Huddersfield, great win over Wigan. Salford and Wakefield, as you saw there, quite a scrap, and 2 60-point advantages for St Helens and Leeds. And tomorrow it's Hull and Widnes and Warrington against Bradford. This is the way the table looks then. Leeds back to the 2-point advantage. Hull can close the gap and go third on their own if they beat Widnes tomorrow. And, well, Warrington will be looking for a good performance against the Bradford Bulls. But it is a very congested middle order, as Rod Studd has just said. So the highlights in the news, and if you were there at the start of the news from Rod Studd, you will have noticed that Rugby League is mourning this week the loss of one of its great personalities, Trevor Foster, who died last week at the age of 90. Now, Steve-O, I know you were a great personal friend of Trevor, and we're desperately sorry that he's gone.
Yeah, it's a great loss to the game, but he was a wonderful man. I had the wonderful pleasure of playing host to him along with Joe Egan for about 5 weeks down in Australia, and I must say that he nearly ate us out of the house and home. He was a wonderful fellow, and same with Joe Egan. But I must say that I've met quite a lot of gentlemen in my life, but I've only met one perfect one, and that was Trevor Foster.
Well said, Steve-O. Trevor Foster, we will all miss him. Right, on to reflections, not so much of this game, but of maybe what's to come. And John Keir, a big day at the KC tomorrow against Widnes.
Yeah, it's a very big day because Widnes have recruited 3 new players on temporary contracts, and they'll obviously add enthusiasm to the Widnes side. And they have got some good players in there, featuring such as Gary Connolly, Terry O'Connor, Mick Cassidy, Mark Smith, who've come from Wigan and who've got a winning culture anyway. And so we realise that it's going to be a tough game, and we also realise if we don't bring our boots, that's mentally, not just physically, if we don't bring our boots and are ready to play, we'll be in for a tough afternoon.
And Richie Barnett will be making his debut against you for Widnes, possibly. You know a little bit about him?
Yes, we do, obviously. And obviously when Widnes approached us to sort of take Richie on loan, we were happy to do that because we saw that we'd got Gareth Rayner and Nathan Blacklock as our gun wingers and our first choice wingers. It would be great exposure for Richie to get some first team football. Then ironically Richie signs the forms, go to Widnes, and Gareth gets injured against Wakefield in the cup. And that's just the law of the land, is it? That's just the way it goes. So we'll be featuring without Gareth Rayner, and they'll have one of the wingman probably would have taken his place. So there's a certain irony there.
There is. I hope he doesn't come back to haunt you, John. You will see tomorrow. Next weekend, Phil, two cracking games on paper. Wigan-Leeds, first of all, Friday night. Quite a match.
I think it is. I think Wigan will have no doubt been studying Leeds' performance today and been very impressed by them. They did play well, but they'll obviously go into it with some sort of confidence because in Wigan at their own stadium they have a pretty impressive record, and they'll know that they'll give it everything they can. They've played with tremendous character. They perhaps need to be a little bit more smart tomorrow, next week I should say, against the Leeds Rhinos, and they'll give themselves a very good game.
And then on the Saturday, we're down in London, and we'll see a different London, Steve, won't we? John Keir has alluded to this. They're different at Griffin Park than they are when they get in the bus and come up north.
Yeah, without a doubt, but I think that each player will look in the mirror and say to himself, well, I certainly didn't perform today, and I must say that they're going to have to work very, very hard because there wasn't much pride shown there, and I think that it's probably one of the worst displays I've ever seen from a Broncos side for many, many a day. And I think that the look on the face of Tony Ray more or less said it all. Okay, he couldn't really bag his players because coaches really shouldn't do that. They've got to, irrespective of how many they've lost by, they've got to stand by them. And I'm sure that at one point, maybe about 10 minutes before the end, he thought to himself, well, I may get a taxi and just catch a train straight down from Leeds to King's Cross, all on my own, because it really was a very, very poor performance. They cannot play as bad as that. And as you say, on that very narrow pitch, they can keep it tight. The one thing they lacked today was a lot of enthusiasm in the forwards, and we now see so many high-scoring games. Now, Tony Smith, the Leeds coach, alluded to the fact that, you know, once you get the roll on, it is difficult. Are we going to see maybe the coaches claiming now to the Rugby Football League to change it and say, right, if you've scored a try, then you kick off?
Well, maybe. We will see. We'll see what all happens in the next 7 days or so. Now then, still to come here tonight. Here next on Sky Sports 1, it's football first, and Portsmouth against Charlton is the match choice, and that's the game of the day, followed by the match choice, should I say. And next on Sky Sports 2, it's Spanish football as Athletic Bilbao take on Real Sociedad. On Sky Sports Extra now, Test cricket, the West Indies meeting South Africa. It's day 3. And the Australian Rugby League in the morning. 10 o'clock, Sunday, Sky Sports 2, Souths against Newcastle. Our guest in the studio, by the way, will be London Broncos coach Tony Ray. Next weekend, fantastic matches for you. Wigan against Leeds and London against Saints. We're looking forward to those already. And, of course, we'll see you, I hope, for Boots and All on Wednesday. Thanks, John. Best of luck. Bye-bye. Poaching gets a stroll in. Poaching will improve the angle, and Leeds get the second try. They're queuing up. Senior scores. Oh, he's ghosting through. He's got Mathers with him, but Luluai has scored. Now Titi takes some stopping, he gets it away to Maguire, who will score. Will Burrow will scamper away from dummy half using his pace and having the great presence of mind to keep on going. Wonderful from Marcus Bye. Try for Richard Manus. Look at this. They are ripping London to shreds. And Bye steps in the challenges and scores another. Marcus Bye will score the try and get the hat-trick.